Anybody got anything? Thank you, Sheena. I know Alex has something. I don't know if we're ready to put it out there yet, but maybe you go last, bro, if you want to put out the HUD loans.
Okay.
This might work perfect for Karen too, actually. She's getting into multifamily.
Perfect.
Anybody got anything? Tom, you got anything you need?
I don't need a whole lot right now. I got about all I can handle.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, right? Last year
Yeah.
was we were running hard last year. We were.
Twice
All
as
right.
hard. Well, shoot, I'll go right away then. I'll do
Okay,
two.
go ahead, bro.
We're gonna do another round of raising capital. So if you guys are interested, have some capital you want to place this year, would be a lot of upside and good opportunity for some lessons learned with working with us on that. And then also I have an unbelievable product for multifamily. So anybody that's buying multifamily, loan amount has to be over 4 million. Otherwise, I don't really want to look at it. And we're looking at an 80 LTV cash out up to 120 LTC. So if you bridge into the product, and if you need a bridge loan to get into the multifamily, I can help facilitate that as well. But this is more of a stabilized asset loan for a long-term hold, 35-year fixed, 2.25% interest rate, plus MI. So your mortgage insurance, which is on average a 0.25 point. So about a 2.5 rate and 35 years fixed. And you can get all of your money out plus an extra 20% of all costs spent up to 80 LTV of the property. So it's a pretty neat program. A lot of people don't really know about it because HUD used to have a 3-year seasoning period. They no longer have the 3-year seasoning period. So this product's completely changed. But that's it, guys. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'd love to help you or anyone you know.
Do you want to explain a little more about the 120% LTC?
120 LTC is loan to cost, guys. So it's all your expenses essentially. We can get 100% of them and add an extra 20% as long as we don't exceed 80 LTV of the property. So most likely we're not going to exceed the 80 LTV.
So the only I don't want to say downside, but I guess the downside of this product is that it does take 6 months to close. It's a HUD loan, but we can time it out, right, and get working on it while the asset is being stabilized, and there's no seasoning period now anymore, right? So that's good. The other downside is that there's a minimum 4 million that the total loan amount has to be. So it's designed for larger deals and projects. And that's why I don't know if anybody is in the multifamily space. If you are, please drop your name in the chat or maybe raise your hand. We'd like to know how many people are invested in maybe syndications or are taking down multifamily properties themselves. And what I've learned is especially in multifamily, the bigger you go, it's a little easier, it gets easier. One, there's economies of scale. So if the asset is, there's a lot of doors there, there's many different ways that you can monetize the property, right? So that you have economies of scale on your side, which also kind of bleeds into the financing, like this HUD loan, right? So unless it's a project over 4 million, then you can't have this loan product. And this loan product is amazing. The only thing is it takes 6 months to close, right? So, but if you guys know anybody or have any projects that fit kind of that rough criteria, we'd love to see if we can do a takeout loan for you for a long term. I believe it's 35 years, yep. Right, Alex? At like a 2.5, starting at 2.25, right?
Rate starts at 2.25, and then you have mortgage insurance on top of it.
Right. And that's it's 35 years is the term, but is it amortized?
It's 35 years fixed. It's a fixed rate. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay. so that's one of the, I mean, we can talk about this and it's share a little bit in our goals maybe, right? And how we're gonna hit 550, so, but let's carry on and see. Today, we just wanted to open up just like our usual kind of annual kickoff call, and just see where everyone's at, how everyone's year was last year. And I hope everyone's, open to sharing. Tom, you want to go first? I want to know what's going on with you, man. How was last year? What did you guys focus on? Did you hit your goals?
Yeah, actually we exceeded. It kind of just kind of grew out of nothing really. We this time last year we started looking down in the Smoky Mountains, just trying to find, my business partner and I did, just trying to find one rental. We wanted to do one short-term rental, and we got hooked up with a rock star real estate agent who happens to have a husband that's a builder. And she said, "Hey man, I don't really think you should buy something right now, but I can build something for you." And so we started going down that road, and we have 12 builds going now, anywhere from, the smallest one or 800 square foot A-frames. And these are all sold. We've got, some of these aren't even out of the ground yet. And we've already got contracts with non-refundable money, no appraisal contingencies. We've got people lined up to buy more. It's crazy. So we've actually maxed out our builder's bandwidth. He's like, "Man, I can't, he's like, "I can't do anything else right now." He said, "Maybe in a month or two, we could put a couple more in a pipeline." So, but yeah, it really took off quick, and I got a couple local investors here that have ponied up some good cash for me. So I've got private money in place there, but I may actually need to talk to Alex about some construction loans. So if you guys do that,
Great.
yeah. And just to the goal thing, I mean, actually next year we're actually looking to buy some land to build some to keep. So we want to build some, probably do the smaller, like 800 square foot A-frame, not tiny homes, but not much bigger than that. And hang on to some for some cash flow. So
Yeah. So buy, build, and hold
yeah.
for those. Yeah. Is it common to do A-frame out Cincinnati, right?
Oh, this is down the Smoky Mountains of Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. So yeah, it's vacation, kind of a vacation area. So
We have a few people out that have properties out, vacation rentals out there, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, it's, I mean, the market's crazy everywhere, but it's just baffling. We're building at about $250 a square foot right now. And everything we've got under contract right now is at or above 500 a square foot.
500 a square foot. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big, so what is like the values on the back end? ARV.
Well, so just to give you an idea, like the A-frame, the smaller one, it's like 800. I think it's actually 855, I think is the exact square footage. It's one bed with a loft to sleep 4 people. And we're selling those for $400,000 a piece. And that'll generate about 60 grand a year, according to AirDNA.
Per house, one house?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, that does
Yeah.
make sense to buy.
It's, and then we've got we kind of got 3 tiers, just kind of worked out that way. We've got 4 of those. We've got 4 that are about 1,600 square foot. And those are like 650 to 700,000, but they'll generate 90 grand a year. And then we got 4 of them on top of a mountain that are $1,025,000 a piece. But those are like 130 to 140 a year, and that's gross income. So, and all the people that are buying these are renting them.
What part? So you said Smoky Mountains in Tennessee?
Pigeon Forge. Yeah, it's Smoky Mountains, but it's in, if you try and tell somebody where it's at, we just tell them Pigeon Forge because everything's close to that. Yep. We try to do everything we're doing. We're trying to stay about no farther than like 15 to 20 minutes off the main drag in Pigeon Forge. So you're kind of, you're in the mountains or in the woods, but you can still quickly get to where all the kitschy golf go-karts and golf courses and putt and all that stuff that everybody wants to do. So it's crazy, man. I mean, it's still growing like mad. So it's good.
I had no idea that, it's in Tennessee is like a kind of a destination, right? So that's a nice gem. It sounds like it's getting more popular though. Like if, people here in Hawaii are hearing about it and going over there and investing. So
yeah. Well, there's the Smoky Mountain National Park. 12 million people a year visit that national park. That's just a national park. That's not, and Gatlinburg is the other town that's close by, and it's very touristy, So there's a lot of draw for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Blaze, are you investing in that area? I remember you were talking about that, right? Oh yeah.
So yeah, Gatlinburg is one of the areas my current property manager manages in. So I don't like to manage my own properties. I like to hire somebody else. So that's why I was asking, who's this property manager for the Airbnb? It sounds like he already has a GC in place, so he's got any fixes. But yeah, Smoky Mountain is a great area.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see the chat over there. I apologize. Yeah, we are, because so far we're not holding anything. So everyone that's buying these already kind of has their own system set up and their own management to take care of it. So I haven't had to dig into that yet.
You should definitely hold on to some.
That's the next, like I said, that's the plan for 2022. We're gonna hit. It's hard, man. I mean, it's like I said, the profit margins that we're seeing on these things are just staggering. It's hard not to take that quick buck.
Yeah.
It just is. Yeah, that's the plan though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's awesome, Tom. So that's the plan or that's review of last year, right? Is that this year too? Is just double down?
Pretty much. I mean, we're still going to do some build to sell, but like I said, really the focus is going to be trying to find land that we can build to build some things to hang on to, and then we'll need that management. We'll need all those things. But again, the agent that we're working with down there, she spent several years working for one of the larger management companies down there before she got into having her license and being an agent. So I feel like she can probably get us lined up pretty easy when we get to that point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a long-term product for short-term vacation rentals as well. We use AirDNA to kind of, so that if you're pulling your numbers from AirDNA, we're going to be pulling that too when we're underwriting it, so
Sure.
But I know that there are lenders out there that kind of specialize in that area too. So, and I don't know how we compare to them, but I know once you guys are ready to hold, I would look there locally first. But if you run into problems, we'd love to take a stab at it for sure.
Sure. Yeah, we started developing the bigger projects. I've got my local investors here that are funding those, and then actually the 4 A-frames we just closed on the construction loan last Monday, and it's with a local bank down there in Pigeon Forge, and they've been great. So
great, yeah, good,
yeah,
awesome, Tom. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back on.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Glad to hear you're doing well. All right, anybody else want to share? Okay, Zasha, how was your guys' year?
It was good. I think 2021 was a lot of learning and a lot of hustling and putting some other kind of important things on the side. So this year, hoping to kind of bring the balance there, especially with family. And yeah, I really want to get deeper into Indianapolis right now. I really like the out-of-state investing. I kind of get a lot of my time back because you're not involved with the projects. So there's good and bad there. Kind of learn to let go of control. But once you're there, like once you have a team that you trust, it's really, yeah, I don't know, I really like it. So I have a lot of my time back by investing out of state. So trying to grow that. And the goal is to continue fix and flips in Hawaii to get like a good chunk of money and then stashing that out of state.
Nice. Yeah. Yep. That's usually the strategy for us here in Hawaii, right? It's hard to cash flow here. That's why. So any learning lessons from last year, and do you have like a solid number or goal that you want to hit and want to share that?
Oh, yeah, it's I'd like to hit 12 more rentals over there. It could be multi-units, like 12 more doors. Hopefully that cash flow at least 300 a month. Yeah, so I'm always looking on like the Facebook marketplace. My Facebook is set to indie now, so Facebook marketplace, Craigslist, connecting with as many wholesalers as possible. And then through, you know, the power of social media, a lot of leads kind of come that way as well. Lots of wholesalers, they get these like package deals. You know, you get some good, you get some not so good. So looking like working on a few of those right now. And then we're working on a off-market lead here. It sounds like a really good buy and hold multifamily. So we'll see if we can make the numbers work on that one, but that one looks promising as well.
Oh, nice. And
Thank you.
for Indy, isn't Daniel investing in Indy?
Yeah, we got Daniel, Floyd, John Rankin. Um,
Oh yeah, John.
I just met another guy that I don't ever see. I've never met him before, but he's in Hawaii and he invests in Indy. But yeah, honestly, like those three gentlemen have been super helpful with finding people, running some numbers, even some contractors contacts, insurance agent contacts. It's been amazing. So it's kind of crazy. I feel so comfortable over there. It's almost scary how easy it's been.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and if you're with Daniel and John, like these are guys with impeccable like integrity, and
Yep.
you're in good hands, you know. Yeah. And plus
Yeah.
solo market, right? So have you bought yet over there?
Yeah. So we're renovating two properties and like I want to get more ready, but I just feel like, you know, I've kind of rushed into these two that I needed to close in December. That's kind of why I also rushed into that.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that everything's going to go through. Like, I want to learn through these two and then kind of see what I need to adjust for the next ones. But we'll probably be done at the end of January. I'll be ready to refinance January, February, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. How many did you say you had a certain amount of doors in mind out there?
Yeah, I want 12 more doors this year in Indy. So I'm looking at multifamilies also. I'm hoping to get into the multifamily space. It's just um, the vacancies are a lot higher. So I'm always like needing the numbers to be lower, the acquisition price, but it'll come. There's a bunch that come through. A lot of B neighborhoods seem really good because they're just so close to like an A neighborhood, and like your ARV ends up just being really, really good over there. Yeah, yeah. We're
Wow.
thinking of doing short-term rentals too over there. Maybe not on multis, like on the single-family homes. I guess there's a pretty good market. Um, But not gonna lie, the short-term rentals look like the typical Cali homes. So it's
Mhm.
really modern. I don't know, just a bit different. Not sure I want to go into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome to hear, Tay, because like 12, if you get 12 more doors, that's a nice little portfolio you're building, you know. And I
Yeah, honestly, it's like, went through my goals a couple of weeks ago, and I'm hoping to get 50 doors within 5 years. High goal.
Mhm.
Hopefully I get 40 by within the next 5 years. But yeah, so that's why it's kind of high. It is kind of
Mhm.
high, 12 doors. But hopefully I get, 7 to 10 maybe, and I'll be super happy. Like I'll feel like I'll hit my goals if I get 10 doors, honestly. So yeah,
Awesome. And
yeah.
you know,
Thank you.
you're well, best of luck, Tay. We'll be there right by your side, holding you accountable,
Yeah.
and you know,
Thank you.
yeah, you
Yeah,
get there.
I'll be sharing in here for sure.
Awesome. Well,
Thank
and
you.
that it reminds me because like I think that feeling that I was having earlier, or the last week of last year, it, it's because like I think I know that this year um we're gonna it's gonna be a big goal, and I think that there's some big things coming upon the horizon, and it's kind of scary, right? Whenever there's a point where um like an inflection point where you're about to break through a barrier, the ceiling, and experience growth like personally, right? And professionally. It's a little scary, it's uncomfortable. And I think that's where I was like a couple weeks ago, because I know that this year in order for us to hit our goals, you know, of originating 550 million by the end of the year, we're not gonna do that if we're the same people by the end of the year. You know, like I always say, like, I feel that business is like a game, right? No matter what business you're in, and it's the game is very fair, you know, and it's only going to reward those who provide value and are valuable, and you're paid what you're worth at the end of the day, you know. So for us to be worth, you know, a company that can originate 550 million, we're all going to have to be worth more personally too. And that's why, like, personal development is, as cheesy as it can be nowadays, you know, it really is a very important factor in the growth of yourself and your company. So I hope everybody's taking it this year and understanding that for them to hit their goals, maybe it's your business goals, you're also going to have to grow personally, right? To be able to deserve that or earn it. So it's going to be a great year. And I love hearing everybody's goals because it gets me fired up. Zasha, you want to talk about what you had going on this past year and learning lessons, what's on the horizon for this next year?
Yeah, aloha, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. Very proud of Tereva and all her growth and going out of state. I know I'm not as brave yet, but definitely this past year has been full of trying different things. It's the first time that I started partnering and actually bought back a lot of my time and made things way easier. So always open to joint ventures. Once I recalculated, I had some appraisals, did some refinances, calculating my net worth, I found out, you know, that I had hit the millionaire status. So, but I hadn't been really keeping track, right? It's not really like we keep track of those things, especially appreciation in Hawaii is so major. So unless you get, you know, a real appraisal done, it's just like your thoughts, you know, what you think the property is worth. So that was a major realization for me to close on my first Airbnb on December 30th for tax purposes. And also I wanted to try to get into that market since I have 9 other ones that are just long-term rentals here. And then did a couple creative deals, did like a novation and a seller finance deal here. And then also became an accountability coach for one of the mentorships that I'm in. And that has kind of really opened up a lot of, like how you said, like you get your personal development, you realize that like what you love to do. And I was working with Tereva as an accountability partner in the beginning, you know, at the end and beginning of 2020 and then 2021. And then that really worked for us. And then now being able to be an accountability coach for newer investors, I've really found, you know, just a passion that I have. And it's amazing to see their progress and put myself back into that position, right? Because you don't really forget how it was like in the beginning. I don't really like to look back at that part because it's hard. But then, you know, being able to help them really became something that I like to do. And then the mentorship that I'm in, Ryan really pushed me to start speaking about, you know, sharing my story, because it really is, you know, your growth starts from the beginning, right? It starts from how you grew up, what you went through, what got you through those points. And so I spoke at one of his events that had over 200 people, and I'm still nervous. Like I'm still, even this call, like I'm nervous to like, you know, talk in front of people, but just really putting myself outside of my comfort zone has been all 2021. And this year, I made a good amount of money. So this year it's more so focusing on passive income. I want to get to 20K net per month. Whether that be, I'm thinking I'm going to focus on Airbnbs here, but I might, like I've heard of the Smoky Mountains and other places, Joshua Tree, that it has worked. So I haven't really picked the market yet. But since I bought my first Airbnb a couple or last week. I'm going to see how that goes. And if the numbers work, then I'll probably try to get more of those. And yeah, I think like Trevor said, we're in another group where we talked about, okay, what were our goals that we accomplished? A lot of us accomplished a lot of our investing goals or professional or business goals, but the family goals were, you know, a lot of us didn't really hit those. So that's been my shift. That's going to be my shift this year, is to remember to celebrate the wins with my family and do something big for them or with them. And now that COVID, I mean, I don't know where it's going with COVID, but I always wanted to go like on a cruise with my family, or, you know, we've been to like Disneyland and stuff before, but kind of do something major with them to make that quality time and family time like memorable while we're still working our way up.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So 20,000 a month passive income is the goal this year.
Yeah.
And one thing, when just to circle back, when you're talking about how Ryan was pushing you to get out there, right? Don't you feel that you actually learn more when you're put in that position to help others, teach others coming up? I don't know, because it forces you to regurgitate the information and understand it, right? And then they ask questions. And then if you don't know the answer, you know, you have to go find it out and come back. And so I get a lot out of it every time, because I learn more. And it's also, I'm like you said, it's inspiring, you know, like we brought on a bunch of guys. Some of them are, you know, just brand new to real estate, and some of them are very young, you know. Aiden's over here, he's a young stud coming up. But like Aiden gives me so much inspiration. I told him this, and I'll share it on the call. It's just like, you know, I've sat in front of, you know, very successful people, guys who can buy and sell me probably 10 times over, you know, and but I get a lot of inspiration, guidance from them too. But when, you know, I get just as much, if not more, working like, you know, in the trenches alongside guys like Aiden, you know, young, hungry, and full of energy. Like that inspires me, you know. So I understand that role. I know what you mean. And I think Ryan is the epitome of it, you know, like look at what he's done.
His growth has been so inspirational, and being a part of it kind of from the beginning when he's just getting into the education realm. And then now, you know, he's always thinking far ahead. And so that's kind of how, and this year my goal is to help at least 100 people get started in real estate investing, even if that means picking up a book or, you know, helping them in 15 minutes and they check back in with me and be like, hey, you know. And that's a lot of the social media aspect of it. Like he is keen on all these social platforms and getting out there, not only for networking and deals and inspiring other people, but just to see your own growth. And how you said, when you help somebody, it's almost like rewarding when they come back to you, right? And they tell you all their accomplishments. It gives you that bump up too.
Matt, yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because for one, I think everybody's goal should be somewhere along those lines, you know, like where like you want to touch 100 people, even if it's just sending them a book that changed your life or put you on this path, right? Because one, this is a worthwhile journey, you know, it's a worthwhile pursuit of financial freedom and entrepreneurship. You know, it's not for everybody, but I think the pursuit of financial freedom should be for everybody. And some people are just, they need the awakening, you know, like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was probably at the right timing for me. The book changed my life. It put me on this path and I haven't gone off, you know, so that can change someone's life, you know. And I think, and so that's one thing. You can change someone's life by guiding them, you know, to the path that you're on. And two is, every time we share, like our space grows bigger, right? And a lot of people feel that when the space grows bigger, it makes it harder because it's more competitive. that's a scarcity mindset. You know, I know for a fact that the bigger our industry becomes, you know, the more real estate investors that are created. Our space and our businesses will only thrive even more. You look at hard money, right? When you look at the hard money industry, hard money used to be like loan sharking almost, you know, like we're having discussions in the NPLA about changing what we put on our websites, how we communicate, because hard money has such a stigma, it's hard to get over. It's like the NPLA is fighting legislation through governments at the state level to protect the private lending industry, because of back in the day when it was just kind of like loan sharking. You'd go to a hard money lender who's just he's sitting on his cash and he's going to lend it out, and that is no more. You know, we don't really have those guys anymore because they can't compete with the rates and terms, because Wall Street's in the game now. And the reason why Wall Street's in the game now is because I feel that A&E and HGTV, they put these amazing house flipping shows, you know, on television, and the industry just kind of exploded, right? So much so that now it's a $50 billion a year industry, and Wall Street wants some of that. They want a piece, if not all of it. You know, they want all the 50 billion, and they pretty much have almost all of it. So now institutional capital is in here, which has driven the rates and terms, or the rates down, and the leverage is up. It's very aggressive. So the loan sharks can't compete anymore. You know, through television, you know, and created a bunch of real estate investors. That's what I think really happened. And so sharing what we're doing, you know, is only going to benefit us all in the long run, I feel. And we are 3 million housing units short nationwide, you know, so majority of the markets here are in short supply, and there's supply chain issues, and we're battling inflation. So we, as builders or developers or real estate investors, I think it is our duty to not only focus on what we're doing, but help others come join us, right? And help, especially in Hawaii. Like, I don't know if we'll ever solve the supply problem here, you know, which kind of is a good thing, right? Because guys, like people who are buying real estate here, you know, we're in one of the best appreciating markets in the nation. And so that there's that, but it is getting expensive. You know, people are getting priced out. And how do we solve that? Well, I mean, there's a lot to that, but I know one for a fact is we need more supply, right? We need more inventory. So hopefully the city can work with us, and they put some stuff in place and bring some of the developers who actually care about putting houses that local people can get into here on the islands, right? So I think I'm excited to see where the next year takes you, Zasha. We'll be rooting for you, and we'll be here, you know, to help support for sure.
Thank you, guys. And, you know, if anybody ever needs help with anything, always feel free to reach out. I'm on Maui. I invest here. I've never invested anywhere else, but if there's anything I can help you with, please just let me know.
Thank you, Zasha. Go get them this year. All right. Anybody else want to share their goals or learning lessons from last year? Oh, I see Ashley Williams. Hey, Ashley. How's it going? You have any goals coming up you want to talk about? Or maybe anything last year?
Well, I finally got my grandmother's property that I've been talking to you about for like 4 years.
Oh,
So
in
it's a
Waimanalo?
1 acre in Waimanalo. They didn't finish the construction on it. And of course they sold it to me as is, so I could handle all the junk. But it was originally, let's see, 2, 4, 6 bedrooms, and I built out 2 of the sides, and I'm renting out 2 of the sides. So now I'm back here and I have time to try to do a real flip. So I guess I'm doing the BRRRR method right now.
Okay. Yeah. So congratulations on that one. I know it was
Years.
like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. You were
Yeah.
talking about it, right? And trying to put everything in order. That's a huge win, right? For last year.
Yes, it was.
Yep. And Blaze just putting it in the chat, house hack, right? So that's what you're doing, you're house hacking. Are you able to
Yes.
cover your mortgage by renting out, or is at least cover a majority of it?
I am able, yeah, let's see, I'm able to cover most of it. I need a refi in a couple months too. I have some weird mortgage insurance, I think, on there or something.
Okay. Oh,
And
nice.
then, yeah, so it's been good. So now I'm back here. My
So-
goal is to have a lunch with you and figure out what's the next steps.
Perfect. Anytime. Yeah. Awesome. Well,
I'm
it's
glad
good
to see
you
everyone
on.
still on here. This has been great.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it on. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
JD, what's up? Oh man,
Hey,
I want to hear this
Corey, how
guy's
are ya?
goals.
I'd be happy to share. So there's a couple new things that I'm trying to get into. And as you know, short-term rentals are primarily where I focus. And it's been super fun. So ending the year, I was at 23, trying to get to 100 doors by the end of this year, and really ramp up with the short-term rentals. But on top of that, I want to do at least one flip this year. And really just focus in like the motel and more commercial, like larger unit space for short-term rentals. So I have 2 deals in the pipeline now that I'm kind of considering wrapped up, and you guys are doing. I'm so thankful you guys are helping, but definitely trying to focus on more of those hotel motel deals and some more interesting commercial stuff. Get into some flips, and I also have a couple of ground up constructions that are about to get started. So really just dipping my hand in everything, trying to focus on my niche, but get a taste of everything else as well.
You amaze me, bro. Because just following you, you got so much going on, but somehow like you can contain it, and that's not easy to do. I don't think I could do what you do. Like, well, you have teams, right? But man, like,
Yeah, it still adds up pretty quick. I totally agree. I think it's finally starting to hit me that I'm in so many places, and that's why I definitely want to consolidate and focus on systems a lot too. It's getting tougher. It's mostly the management end of it. We're at about 200 units under management on the short term side, and it's just every picture, every bump along the way. Handling 50 is different than handling 100. Handling 100 is different than 200. And we're trying to get to 1,000 doors under management this year. So a lot of things have to change to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Just like us, we got big goals. So if we hit our goals by the end of this year, we will all be, new people. I'll be a new man. Like, I know it. I can't hit that number without being the next level of myself, right? So
exactly. There's no better way to say it. If your goals are that much larger, your habits have to be that much different to be able to maintain those and get to those levels, and habits don't change overnight. So I love that everyone on this call is pushing to kind of adapt and get to that next level.
Yeah. And well, one thing too is like, man, you still know how to live life, so that's why like you're one of those guys like I look at like, how the hell, I don't know how you get this all done, all accomplished, and then still just live your best life, So
I see it as necessary, honestly. It's kind of the breaks from being so dialed in are so necessary to get the kind of that headspace back and be ready to be dialed in when it's time. And that's another thing I'm definitely working on personally, is trying to step away a little more and actually make the most of my time when I am kind of in the zone.
Yeah. Well, I'll follow your lead, bro, because me too. Yeah. Everybody, like, if you guys follow JD, if you're not following him, follow him. He's making some big moves, and we're gonna be right alongside him for the ride. So thanks again, JD, for all that you've done.
I have to thank you guys. There's a lot of people on this call that I emulate, and it's super cool to see how everyone's pushing on social media and growing, and it's such a supportive group. And there's so much room for everyone to win, and everyone's running their own role. So I'm just really glad to be a part of it and been able to find you guys last year.
Yeah, totally, man. And one thing too, I think the training industry here in real estate, the training space, the educational space, I think it's being disrupted. Since COVID has happened, now it's more like, let's follow someone who I like, who I trust personally, right? Whether on YouTube like Jeremy, right, or Ryan. There's a few people I follow who are on YouTube, and what they say is, it's raw, it's unfiltered, unbiased. Nobody's in their pocket. They don't have to, sell something on stage, right? It's just they're speaking their mind, their philosophies, and just helping others teach what they've learned, right? So I think it's a good thing for our space. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever looked into or have you ever thought about training or starting some sort of educational program, JD, or are you too busy closing deals?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's crossed my mind to kind of make a program similar to what Jeremy's made. And Ryan's obviously a huge example of what could be possible. I just don't want to take another thing onto my plate right now. I don't think it would be
Yeah.
to do anymore. So just kind of follow those guys, and when I'm ready to get into it.
It is a big responsibility when people start to pay you or give time, right? It's a big responsibility, I feel. So we've been asked constantly if we're ever going to have something. It's like, I don't know, Keiko is probably better than me at spearheading something like that. So, but to me, I'm not in that business right now.
And I don't think there's enough around lending and understanding lending. I've been working as an agent for years, and I still learn new things about lending all the time, no matter how much I'm involved in the business. And same with short-term rentals. I think it's definitely under appreciated, and there's not enough learning material out there. So it's a huge opportunity. I just don't have time to get into it right now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Alex and I were talking about it too. It's like, there's not really anything in the private lending industry about, any training or of how to be a lender. And because I think it's an old school, good old boys industry, So I like to feel we're shaking it up a little bit because we're different, man. When we go to these conferences, we just look different. We're very diverse, we got Asians, we got Caucasian, we got all kind shins. So, but we, everybody's embraced us in that space, and perhaps, maybe that is a good idea. We can double down on, but like you said, I don't have the time, we don't have the time. So when the time is right. So.
That is the worst thing you can ever say. I don't have the time. It's such bullshit.
That's true. Yeah.
You make time for whatever you want in life and whatever you want to do. So yes, we're super busy, but we don't want to make the time to do those things right now.
You don't want to make the time.
Exactly.
Right. It comes back to priorities.
Time. Yeah, we have the time. We just don't want to make the time to do it. But I think those are two awesome concepts that would blow up. So many people want to get into one lending space, and then at the same time, so many more people want to get into the Airbnb space. So JD, let's link up and let's design a course. We'll do it hand in hand. We'll design hard money lending and Airbnb, and we'll take it out there. But we're just gonna have to make the time.
You're right. We're going to have to make the time. And I do think a lot more people would get into real estate and be open if they understood all the different lending options they had available, and how many ways there are to make something possible for every situation.
We were thinking about a podcast, but perhaps that's better, because if we started a podcast, we can bring on some guys that we know and introduce them to, who these guys don't go on a podcast, not that I know of, but some of the people that we know within the NPLA, we can bring on some guys that will blow your mind, and maybe we should do that. I think people would get a lot out of it.
That would be awesome.
I just don't know how we're gonna make time. Make time. Go make us some time, Alexander. We gotta
We just gotta
figure.
work harder, bro. Later, earlier, one of the two. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But yeah, maybe I think people would get a lot of value out of that. Because then I think there's a big divide between us as the investor and the lender, right? And I think the divide is just like one comes from a totally different space. The financial industry is totally, I was very ignorant and naive early on to think that, oh, I've borrowed millions of dollars worth of hard money. Like, I know how this works, you know, like, and actually I'm glad I was naive to it, because like the learning process has been painful sometimes. You know, the first couple of years was it was a lot of learning, drinking from the fire hose. And I think if I knew how hard it was going to be, maybe I might not have taken the leap, you know, but we've gone through that, and we're making it on the other side, thank God. But I think there's a gap between the two industries that maybe we can be a bridge for that, and we'll bring on investors, we'll bring on lenders, service providers. Maybe I got to put that on my goal list this year to start something. Would you guys be interested in that, or hearing from like the financial side, or learning how the money works?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Looks
Okay.
like the chat agrees.
Hey, one more question I got, guys. Conferences. All right. December. There's not a lot of conferences that go on in December. Fortunately, a lot of us on this call live in Hawaii, but would you guys be open to a conference that kind of brought everything together, from lending to service providers to insurance people to title, escrow, appraisals, like everything that's geared around investing and everything that we need as investors to kind of build out our portfolio here in Oahu? You know, and it would be more like of a Hawaiian style, like it's not going to be so jam-packed that you can't go and do something during that same day. But I think it's something that I've been bouncing with Corey. We were thinking about wanting to do it last year. Last year was definitely not the year to do it with everything that happened. But I think it would be cool to do a Keiko Connects or something conference in December. And I just kind of want to get an idea of how many people would be interested in attending. Well, it looks like everybody likes this idea, Corey. Looks like we got to create some more time.
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna be a whole new man at the end of this year, guys. Whole new man.
Just sleepless.
I already sleep a little.
Does anyone have any experience with putting on a big event, big conference, big event, anything like that, or know somebody that you can connect us with? That would be very helpful.
I used to be an event planner. I
Oh,
can
yeah.
help a little bit or direct you. It's super stressful, so I can probably connect you with some people.
Awesome. Oh,
Awesome.
Thank you, Ashley. So we did talk, or Alex talked to Leonard Rosen, who he does the Pitbull conference, and about coming to Hawaii, right? And it's just the logistics for everyone, since majority of the people are from the mainland. It's hard for everybody to come down here. So he's just not sold on the fact that it's gonna be worthwhile. And so perhaps maybe you got to show some proof of concept first, but I think it's time to bring some influential people here to the islands, and some of them will fall in love with the islands and maybe invest here. I know for a fact a lot of the people who are now connected with us, they're coming here and they're moving money here because of us, and more money, more influence, more houses, maybe the cost of living will go down. So perhaps we got to put that on
Bro, it's on the list. We're doing it.
This list is getting big, man. I gotta what's the Fed call it? Taper.
You're gonna be a whole new man, like you said, with some new skills, lots of new
I
skills.
feel like I'm already am after this first week. It's crazy.
Delegate some of that list to other people. That's why you
Yeah.
got rock stars, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is
Hey,
true.
look at Richie and Keone at the new deal. You guys just closed?
Oh yeah.
We're just here
up?
looking at a potential right now. Just doing a visit.
All right.
Yeah, yo.
Happy New Year, fam.
Happy New Year. Hey guys, real quick. I know you're on site, but maybe goals for next year or learning lessons from last year.
Learning lessons from last year. For me, it's I mean, drop off the consistency a little bit. I got to the point where I never, in the last 4 years, got to the point where I didn't have like I had properties waiting, but nothing was live, and that was a shitty feeling. So my goal is to not have that happen again this year. And I was always consistent with at least 4 projects going on with different stages of rehab, but got to the point where all 4 was done and other ones waiting for permits, and that's a shitty feeling of not having an actual life.
Yeah.
So, but you, man.
I think
I
for
know that
me,
feeling.
I consider myself a good, but communication is so paramount, and dealing with contractors, dealing with wholesalers, I could definitely do better because a lot of things fell apart. And I think it was due to communications on both sides, but I can't control them. I can only control myself. So I think the big learning lesson going into this year is being very crystal clear on communications about everything in all sequences and all phases. Even with escrow company, we think that we know the process, but we don't know. And then all of a sudden they get busy as well. Everybody gets busy. And we just assume that that's your job and you move on to do your job and the conveyor belt keeps going, but somebody's got to be checking the checker. So I think for me, it's communication, whether you have an assistant or you have team members doing that for you, there's always got to be clarity with communication. So that's my biggest learning lesson coming out of last year, because I thought I had that buttoned up. Obviously, I got a lot to go as well. Like with every deal is different, but I think the biggest thing, like I said, for me is going into 2022, making sure that everybody's all on the same page at all times. Yeah.
Love it.
And
Love it.
the goal for 2022 is make 2022 my bitch.
Okay. I like it. I can dig that.
Full support here.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, top that, Keone.
I like 2022. I don't treat anybody as my bitch.
Yeah.
We're all friends. We all get along. Maybe
Wow.
a start talking to.
Poor Richie. This guy, our client, right? Comes to the office, just asking for the office. He comes over to drop off a big gift basket. He walks through the door, and all we do is blast him with Nerf bullets.
Hey, you never posted that video. You never
I'll post
posted
them today. I'll send them.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Right on.
Hey guys,
2022
real
is gonna
quick
be
too.
awesome. I know.
I just posted in the chat. Jeremy is doing an event tonight, emerging leaders after work. So if you guys are in Oahu available, want to do some networking, I'm going to make an appearance. So I would love to see anybody that's willing to go check it out. I just dropped the link in the chat. So if you guys are available, come say hi, support one of
Nice.
our other investors.
Hey, I just wanted to put out there, Corey, Alex, and everybody. I really appreciate you guys with Coffee Talk, man. You guys have been super instrumental. I mean, I know we're a tight-knit family, but like your consistency with having Coffee Talks is very much appreciated. It's game changing for a lot of people, but it's just bringing us back together, having these conversations, any breakthroughs and all of that. So like, I mean, I know you guys got a lot on your guys' plates, and this is super cool. What you guys are doing for our community, and I just wanted to say thank you guys very much.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
man, thank you, Keone. We appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah,
And,
and Corey, tell K Cole, no use that time zone crap as an excuse.
I know this guy, right? Leave me hanging again. I was like, bro, it's the first call of the new year. Come on. Nah, but he's stuck at the site, so I guess that's kind of important, I guess. I mean, we did spend 14 million for it, so he's like, we better. Hopefully, all the boxes are being checked. But yeah, no, I appreciate all of you guys for jumping on. I'm surprised every week that people jump on and just want to talk story, you know. So we're gonna keep it rolling as long as everybody wants it, you know, because I love it too. I love being able to see the same faces and meet people, you know, over Zoom who I've never met before, and then be able to do business alongside them has been amazing. COVID has been as crazy as it's been, and changed the world and made it very inconvenient, and people lost loved ones. As terrible as this virus has been, I feel that I see the good in it. You know, I see what it has done for all of us. You know, I feel it's brought in the community closer, you know, even closer. So we'll keep doing it. And I hope everybody, you know, I'll leave with this. And we had our like kickoff call for our company, and like I feel the theme for us was like, this year is the year that we all remember our whys, you know, because sometimes we can put that aside, but this year for 2022 is the year we remember our whys, because we need to push ourselves. You know, we need to be scared of our goals. Like I feel you need that butterfly feeling in your stomach, you know, to push us to grow personally and professionally, and enjoy the pursuit of it all, because and just be prepared for the hard times and embrace it, you know, because I think on the other end of this, when it comes 2023, we should all be, you know, new people, growth, you know, personally and professionally. So I wish the best for everybody in 2022. And if you guys ever need anything, especially in real estate, we can help, even if it's just, you know, personal. You know, I'm sure there's many people on the call that, you know, we've built friendships over these last couple of years that we've been doing this. I can't believe it's approaching 2 years. That, you know, it's one extended family. So go out there, go kick gas, and we'll see you next week. Aloha, everybody. Thank you guys for all sharing too.
Yeah, aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo.